some information that Antelope Valley is an area in North Dakota where there's coal?
This is a loaded question. Okay, this is the. We're trying to keep tabs on where the grid development is happening. These are the blue lines that you see here in Minnesota. This is North Dakota and South Dakota. We marked from the Department of Energy's website. We marked the coal, the nuclear, and wind generation sources, and you're trying to get an idea of a pattern of what's going on. If you look here. That first thing that catches your eye, and I'll just jump to the conclusion, is that you have this swing up here at the top, and you see all the coal production up here. Okay, I mean these are utility companies, and they are selling electricity. And the one thing that's interesting about being a utility company right now is that if you look at their that growth curve that I was showing that was going down and down. If you're an investor in an electric company and you're getting money for them selling electricity, this is not very good news. Because this means basically that your profit, your commodity is being sold at a, I don't know, 1%. Hey, that's about the same as a U.S. Treasury note.
But won't the price be going up?
The price goes up, but your profit margins have to go up above it. You're still. It's not a good time to invest. Anyone here in electric utility?
No, but could you hold up that little picture of the one with the farm, the power lines? So, will that be the size of the power line?
That is a scale. That is a scale drawing photograph from the Arrowhead Western line of a line of the size that is defined. 170-foot tower. That is a scale drawing with the 60-foot tower next to it. Some of the towers are smaller in diameter, some are larger depending on the stress. And
larger?
Yeah.
Really?
So that barn is in the easement, right?
No, not really. Just a drawing. You're right. You're right. The barn should be over here.
When I asked the ATC about the right-of-ways,
they think we're not ready for this, yes.
They said the right-of-ways is 150 feet wide, but the tower is 150 feet long. And I said, shouldn't it be 150 feet on both sides? Because if it tips over, it's going to be outside of the right-of-way.
You don't want these tipping over. Okay, but so anyway, the idea is that we've got a slow growth, right? Market for electricity is not something they're going to bank on. So we have if this is a situation that has existed in the United States for a number of years. This chart, you can find a similar version of this chart long before wind generation. And this shows basically that the average cost of producing electricity and therefore the price of consuming electricity regionally in the United States. This is a year average. So it takes away all of the seasonal stuff and puts it into a... Okay, so we have up here a blue area with lower cost and the red, the yellow and orange are getting greater and greater. So we have in Western Mississippi up here in the upper Midwest, North Dakota, South Dakota, some in Minnesota, so that we can just a ballpark number, about 7 cents per kilowatt hour might be the market residential rate at what we call a hub over here, where it's generated. If there's a transmission line and it's big enough to carry the excess, the amount that's not being used in this region, to another hub, as it's called, then that can be resold to another market, and that price can go up. This ballpark figure, it's pretty reasonable, about 9 cents per kilowatt hour said in Minnesota. Then if we have a line that goes further east than there, we can get another hub increase, like say maybe over here in Wisconsin, where as we're closer to 11 cents per kilowatt hour. Jump over to Ohio, 12, 14, sometimes it can even get up above 17 or 18 cents per kilowatt hour. Now, that in itself is not a huge deal because most of the time in the United States, we have excess capacity all over the United States. We generate all the power that we need. We had that big boom in the coal plants that was going on years ago. In Wisconsin alone, we have developed 3,200 megawatts of power in the last 2 years of generation. I don't know what we're doing with all of this. Around 50%, 40% of use right now. So it's not a question of, the question is it's cost. Well, how much is it going to be and where are you going to charge it? Here's the trick, is that when peak demand comes, when we have several days of hot weather strung back to back, and those are all the air conditioners are turned on and all the systems are stressed, we can get a bump that's called, when they say peak growth, you get a huge jump in the amount of electricity that is used. And it can be about 140% or so, something like that. Those would be around, I see some folks here from the Vernon Electric Board. 140% might be what we'd be looking at. So if you're going to have a garden hose, if you're watering the estate with a garden hose, you're going to have the faucet about a third, 30 to 40% open to cover your basic daily needs. But then you have to have enough capacity in there so that you can turn